Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's unpack another important concept. Wu in Chinese. As you can see, simplified traditional look the same versus 2000 years ago. That's a little bit more difficult to recognize. Um, so in contemporary, it's left and right two strokes, meaning a person, a human. And it will always, this is easier to write, right? You have a longer stroke on the left side. You write that one first, and you just attach this shorter diagonal line to that. Easy. Repeat it twice. Versus, this is a mirror image. And this looks symmetrical completely, versus this is like a duplicate. You copy paste the same on the other side. And this, if you want to create a mirror image, that's way harder to duplicate. If you want to draw something as intricate as this curvature thing, and you have to draw exactly the same on the opposite direction, it's a mirror image. It's quite difficult because your hand is used to write it in a certain way, and now you have to flip it, make the opposite. It's you have to be well trained to have a good um, like fine motor motion to really hold the brush and hit it just right. So I can understand why we simplify it to make it both the same way. But here, looking at the 2000 years ago, more difficult to write version, that's mirror image version, that may help us to understand better what's happening over there. Plus, its meaning, it means wizard. When we say Wu in Chinese, its immediate imagery would be this wizardry, meaning somebody who's claim they can communicate to divinity, but is not officially, certified. It's not like on a national level that your ruler recognized as the ceremony conductor, right? Or as the high priest, like officially recognized. This Wu is probably more regional or have some, I guess, local influence that people recognize they may or may not have some capacity as they claimed, and they're regarded as wizard. And the imagery here, if I may interpret, as two top of the frame horizontal line means heaven, bottom is earth, right? And then we have one vertical line connecting heaven and earth. So this is the person supposedly serve the function to have this direct line from the ground above to the heaven. So that's kind of a transcendental function of this person. I mean, normally we don't have that capacity, and this person claimed to be able to do that. How that person do that? By dancing, by a special choreographed, I guess, sequence, ceremony. I mean, ceremony contains with objects, props, and a type of words you say, sequence of conducting some ceremony, right? This in particular, this wizardry is emphasizing not things, not words, but actions, dance moves. And why dance moves? So this mirror image, just left and right, is according to scholars, the long sleeves, the long flowy sleeves from the dancer. And I don't know about you, recently I went to a show that's performed by Chinese, I guess, national team of the best dancers in China. Of course, it's state-owned, sponsored, funded, and then came to America to bring Chinese cultural influence and mostly to Chinese communities or locally here, overseas Chinese. So I mean, very few uh, American audience, local audience would even know about it. So anyway, it's 直此青绿. I think I talked about that particular dance before. That's talking about a particular green slash blue color that's used in ancient painting. And eventually a dance was imagined. It's very creative and it's very impressive. But I do notice by going in person to see the show because it's immersive. more immersive, that you wouldn't pick that up on like looking at the same show on the screen. That they do have long sleeves. So I've been to different dance performance. I learned a few dance formats myself, and I do notice compared with other regional local dance, ballet, contemporary, or others, Chinese dance groups, dance troupe do have like costume wise and also the movement designed to be amplified with such costume that is long, flowy sleeves. And as part of their part of the repertoire over there, the whole package and the image that you are going to see not only the movement of the body, but the movement of long strand of fabric flowing through the air. And that's served as an extension of the body. And so in that way, dance with long sleeves is harder, right? Because you no longer not just control your arms, you control a giant piece of fabric, make it across the space and lend it, or fold it, twist it, swing the way you want. It's not easy. And I can see why here, by this character that got this two flowy long sleeves, that you probably, by extending your body with huge piece of fabric, you are going to be more likely to be noticed by the divinity. Okay, and you create a larger than your person size moving object on Earth. So that's the logic, I would think, right? If the divinity is somebody who is observing from outer space, you're more likely to be noticed. Not only for the divinity, you're more likely to be viewed or seen by the people who attending that ceremony. So, of course, like a wizard, probably even if they're serve the function to talk from earth to heaven, have this connection thing happening, but might as well. They're a showman. They put on a show to tell people I have this special capacity to do that and to make themselves larger than life, so to speak, or larger than themselves, go beyond their humanness. Long flowy sleeves serve that purpose, right? So from that we can see as an ancient dance, as an ancient way to practice wizardry, dance is essential there. I'm just happy to find that because I'm a dancer. I consider myself a dancer, and sometimes when I dance, I do feel this connection, not only with myself, my own body. I can almost see ancient times people use dance as a way to pray, as a way to offer your energy, to communicate to the divinity. Okay, 巫婆. So even if wizard in English is kind of male gendered, and we have to say witch as the female version of that. In Chinese, we didn't really specify the gender, even if I translate it as wizard. But I guess both gender dance back then, right? So anybody who step up to claim to be able to connect heaven and earth by dancing could do that. So there's no gender. But once we sign 婆 of there, it's for sure woman dancer slash witch. Okay. 小巫见大巫. Wow, I translated reverse. Okay. That is a small wizard meet a big wizard. And it's, I guess in English, I'm not sure you have the expression of a small devil versus big devil. So it's somebody who has some magical power with them. But one is smaller or less powerful versus the other. So 小巫见大巫, Chinese would use that to say, oh, I thought I have this superpower, but I just meet not only my match, but somebody who outpowered me. So 小巫见大巫 is a humble speech to say, well, I'm humbled by your amazing capacity. I thought I'm skilled, but you're way more skilled than me. Okay. 巫山云雨, 巫山, 巫 here, it's not just wizard anymore. It's a location. It's a specific mountain in China, mountain name. And we have to pair it with mountain. Okay, so 巫山云雨, cloud and rain. Without immersed in Chinese culture, I mean, even if I was born into Chinese culture, if I don't check dictionary, and if I don't read from the context of when this expression used, just by seeing themselves out of context, I wouldn't know this means having sex. Somewhere in public, well, I should remove that. It's probably still in a private space, okay? It's not like you're going to the wilderness, into the mountain to have your cloud and rain. But as cloud rain imagery, this, I guess, humidity involved in humanly pleasure was the euphemism from Chinese. Instead of saying directly of what humans are doing, Chinese came up with this quite poetic way because cloud and rain, totally you can see that surround the mountain. That's a beautiful view, scenery. And Chinese put this poetic scenery, associate that with having, I guess, great sex. It has to be romanticized and elevate. Otherwise, probably everyday human behavior to something elevated, to aesthetically pleasing. And there probably got some historical connection there. Like somebody came up, somebody had a wet dream that's related to Wu Mountain, and probably dreamed of some lady in a dream who claimed from the Wu Mountain, and then that becomes a part of the lingo. It catch on, like which man doesn't want to have that kind of a dream, and then that catch on, and that expression Wu Shan Yun Yu, this particular dream of a wet dream became formulated and asphyxiated into the culture. And so we, till today, would still use that as a euphemism, almost like a adult speech above the kids level. So kids, when they see that, have no clue. Like me, as example, I had no idea what that is until one day I finally was introduced to the amazing adult world. Okay, so that's wizardry. Here I place a dancer's body with kind of flowy fabric. It's not exactly the leaves, but it's the skirts. And it serves a similar function. It extends your body, and that flowiness, that aerialness, only adds to the intricacy of your movement and also expands your consciousness, expands your expression. And that's the beginning of wizardry in Chinese. Thank you for your time. See you another day.